Okay, so now let's learn the rib stitch. And what this is where we're going to alternate knit, purl stitches all the way across. So to start out, we're going to do a knit stitch. So put your tension. It's really important that you have tension on this when we do this. So you're going to do your first knit stitch. Now we're going to have to bring the yarn in front to do the purl stitch. Okay, do your purl stitch, and I got a little messed up yarn there. Do your purl stitch. Then you put your yarn in back for your knit stitch, and you're going to have to kind of tighten these stitches as you go between each one. And do the purl to bring it in the back again to do your knit stitch. Bring it in the front to do your purl stitch, back to do the knit, bring it in front to do your purl, back to do your knit. This will become more of second nature as you do this. Right now it's a lot to remember, but you have to make sure that your yarn is in the right place when you start these. So be in the beginning or in the front for the purl, in the back for the knit. And what I do when I move it from front to back, I kind of tug on that a little bit to tighten that stitch so it's not too big. Like I said, just snug though, not tight. So we're just alternating knit and purl stitches. Knit, bring it around, and purl. In the front to knit, or in the back to knit, and in the front to purl. Back to knit, front to purl. Okay, so that's our first row. And what you're going to find is, when you look at it, it's easy to see the difference when you're on the stockinette side. So you can tell I didn't snug up these stitches very much, but I did here. So now when we go back, this is what makes it the rib stitch. You gotta remember which way I'm doing this. When you see a knit stitch, which is the V in the front, you're going to knit that stitch. When you see the purl bump, which is the purl stitch, you're going to purl that stitch. Now see that V? So we know we're going to knit that stitch, so the yarn goes in the back, and we knit that stitch. That's a purl. So we're bringing it in the front and we're going to purl that stitch. And we're going to continue doing this all the way across. I'm going to do a few rows and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've knit about 6 inches of the rib stitch. It looks very different than the other swatches that we've done so far. So it's still 24 stitches, just like this garter stitch and the stockinette stitch, but it leaves a very different fabric. And that you can see that all of the knit stitches are lined up, and then all of the purl stitches. So this is good for cuffs, bottoms of sweaters, tops of socks, things like that. Now let's move on to the seed stitch. We're still going to alternate the knit and purl stitches, But instead of doing them all in line, we're going to alternate them. So let's see what that fabric looks like.